For this video, I'll share some of the common reporting tools and functions that I regularly use in MYOB Business. To access the reporting functions, go to the MYOB Business dashboard. Select Reporting and then choose Reports. In the Reports section, you will see several categories, including business, banking, payroll, sales, purchases, inventory, costs, and job and project centers. If there is a report that you use regularly, you can select the star icon beside it. This will add the report to your favorites, making it easier to find the next time you need it. Some of the reports I regularly use include the balance sheet, profit and loss statement, and trial balance. The trial balance is often requested by auditors for a specific period under review, so it is important to know where to find it and how to generate it. Another report I frequently use is the general ledger. This report allows me to find specific transactions in MYOB. I can enter the relevant general ledger account code and select the date range I need to search. Another important function in MYOB, which not everyone may be familiar with, is the Journal Security Audit. The Journal Security Audit provides an audit trail of changes made to transactions in MYOB. When you open this report, you can filter the results using the transaction date and the session date. The transaction date refers to the date the transaction relates to. The session date refers to the date when the transaction was entered, edited, or changed in MYOB. If you know the date of the transaction, you can enter it in the transaction date field. If you are trying to identify when a transaction was changed, you can enter a date range in the session date field. MYOB will then filter the results and display the transactions that were added or changed during the selected period. In the action column, you can see what happened to each transaction. For example, when the action shows added, it means the transaction was entered into MYOB. When a transaction is edited, MYOB records the change in the system. Depending on the transaction, the original entry may be reversed and the edited transaction may be recorded separately. When you open a transaction, you can review additional details, including the general ledger code and debit amount. You can also export the Journal Security Audit to Excel and add additional fields or analysis if required. I use this report whenever I need to identify who entered or edited a transaction. If I notice a change that I do not remember making, I can filter the report by transaction date and session date to see what happened and when the change was made. Another reporting function I regularly use is banking reconciliation. This allows me to generate and print bank reconciliation reports for a specific period. Under the payroll section, I regularly use the payroll register. This report shows salaries and wages, tax deductions, and other payroll-related amounts. I use the payroll register when preparing PAYG, withholding, and superannuation payments. It allows me to review each employee and check their relevant deductions and tax amounts. Another payroll report I regularly print is the leave balance report. This helps me identify each employee's available leave balance and distinguish between annual leave, personal leave, and sick leave. In the sales section, I commonly use the unpaid invoices report to identify outstanding customer balances. For purchases, I use the unpaid bills report to review the amounts owed to suppliers. Another useful report is the payables reconciliation report. This report compares the accounts payable balance with the related general ledger balance. It can help identify differences that may have occurred if someone manually entered a transaction using a general ledger account instead of recording it through the correct purchases or payables process. As mentioned earlier, any report marked with a star can be accessed through Favorite Reports. This means you do not need to search through the different reporting categories every time. Instead, you can open Favorite Reports and quickly access the reports you use most often. MYOB also allows you to create and save custom reports. For example, you might create a customized general ledger report for a particular project. Instead of repeatedly selecting categories, jobs, customizations, and transaction filters, you can save the report as a template and simply update the dates whenever you need to run it. To create a custom report, open the report you need and enter the relevant date range. You can then apply additional filters such as a specific expense category, project, job, or general ledger account. You can also choose the accounting basis for the report. When you select cash basis, the report uses the date when the transaction was paid or received. When you select accrual basis, the report uses the date when the transaction was recorded or entered into MYOB. You can also apply other customizations and reporting options. Once the report is set up, select Save As to create your custom report. You can then enter a report name and description and choose who can access the report. The report can be saved for your own use or shared with other users who have access to the MYOB business. If you have access to multiple businesses in MYOB, you may also be able to share the report with those businesses and use the same report format in each one. Although MYOB has some limitations in its reporting functions, it still provides many useful options for extracting and analyzing information. Using favorite reports, saved custom reports, date filters, accounting bases, and transaction filters can make your reporting process much faster and more efficient. If you cannot find a specific report in MYOB, please let us know. We can review your requirements and help determine whether the information can be extracted through an existing report or a customized reporting solution. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.